don't really know anything. We don't know why it happened or whatever. All we know is that a car was shot up and a 1-year-old baby was killed.
Jigga TV, kids. It's the one.
Jigga TV.
You already know.
You already know that.
It's your boy CJ, man. Shout out to Jigga TV.
What's good, everybody? It's Jigga TV with Jigga News, and today we have a heartbreaking story coming out of Mississippi. This is raising serious questions and drawing national attention. A 1-year-old boy is unalived after police pew-pewing outside of a Walmart. Now, his family is demanding answers. According to reports, officers Senatobah, Mississippi responded to a Walmart after receiving a call about an alleged shoplifting incident involving diapers. What started as a routine call quickly escalated into an unaliving encounter that ended up with gunfire. Police say they attempted to stop the vehicle connected to the incident. Authorities claim the vehicle moved towards the officer, prompting one of the officers to open fire during the shooting. A 1-year-old Kohen Wiley was struck and unalived. The tragedy has left the community stunned and the family devastated.
It didn't have to happen this way. It could have been handled differently.
However, the family's version of the events are very different from what police are saying. Relatives and supporters are questioning whether the unaliving force was necessary, or are demanding to release the body cam footage and the dash camera footage and any surveillance videos that can show exactly what happened in those critical moments. The officers involved in the pew-pewing has reportedly been placed on administration leave while multiple investigations are underway. Civil rights leaders and community activists have also become involved, calling for transparency and accountability. Many are asking how a call involving alleged shoplifting could end up with the unaliving of a 1-year-old child.
Senatobah, Mississippi policeman shot, open fire in a public setting over allegedly some Pampers.
As the investigation continues, emotions remain high and people across the country are watching close for answers. Right now, many of the facts are still being investigated, and officials say they will continue reviewing evidence, witness statements, and video footage as they work to determine exactly what happened. But one thing is certain, a family has lost a child and they want answers.
I'm just lost for words, to be honest.
Everybody held accountable.
Someone need to be held accountable for it. It's just not right.
Thing and everybody that was involved need to be held accountable. I'm not giving up until I get justice. It's a must.
Kohen Wiley lost her son to the negligence of law enforcement in Senatobah, Mississippi. Can you please tell what happened?
It was me, my son, and another friend of mine was at Walmart. As we was leaving out the Walmart, they tried to stop her, but I kept walking because it had nothing to do with me. By the time me and my baby got in the car, she came, and then when we was backing up, they was running out to come. I raised my baby up because they withdrew their gun. She had no tent. I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. So she was backing up and she hit the car. But as I was opening the door, so the door flew back in. By the time I sat my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots. One of the shots hit him in his rib cage, and the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh. And we left and went to Senatobah hospital where he was pronounced dead at the scene. And they told me I wasn't gonna be able to see him until he get back from Jackson. She got airlifted, and the police told me I couldn't leave out the hospital until somewhere I couldn't leave out, couldn't nobody come in. But I ended up walking out, and the crowd was questioning them, asking them what happened. They was like, she was shoplifting. But the passenger, it was me. They wasn't talking about me, they was talking about the driver. But on the little, what's it called, self-checkout, they can see, it's cameras, they can see when she got the diapers and walked out. But yeah, they tried to say that she forcefully was trying to drive and hit them, but they was all on the right side, and she was driving towards the left. They just personally just shot in the car.
Trey, what's good, man? Let me get your age and state.
I live in Florida, and I'm 22.
Welcome up, Trey. Now, Trey, with the 1-year-old Kohen being unalived by officers, do you feel it was the officer's fault, or do you feel the mother holds responsibility for her untimely demise of the son?
I think that, so the reason being, the reason that I heard why the cop
No. I hold on, real quick. It's a simple question. Do you feel that the officer is responsible for the unaliving of the baby, or the mother pertains responsibility for it? And then go into what you heard.
I think it's the mother, but
Okay, go for it.
I think
Let me hear.
I think it's touchy, right? Because I feel like one of the reasons I heard for the cop opening fire on the car was because they were trying to hit him, or the driver was trying to hit him. I
Right.
don't know. Do you know if we've gotten the body cam footage yet for that?
No, none of the body cam footage was released at this time, and the family is demanding that the body cam footage be released. Now I'm gonna be real with you, brother, respectfully. This case is very, very sensitive due to the fact that it's an officer involved pew-pewing, and it's a baby that lost his life. Like, everybody feels some type of way. I don't think an officer, regardless, should be pew-pewing in no car with no baby in the car. But again, that's just my personal opinion. You feel what I'm saying? Now, clearly, if you driving towards an officer in a vehicle, that can unalive somebody. So they going to consider that using unaliving force. So I get that. But it's at the officer's own discretion if they want to use that force or just try to dive out the way. What's your thought?
Yeah, my thought on it was the mother of the child said that she had held the baby up to show the officer she had a baby in the car. So I'm assuming the officers didn't have any prior knowledge that a child was in the car before that, and maybe it was just too late. I think it's I said, depending on what the body cam footage shows, if he didn't have any time to jump out of the way of the car, or if they weren't trying to hit him in the first place, depending on what the body cam shows, I think it could shift either way. But I still think the mother should be held reliable for child neglect.
I'm gonna be real with you, brother. They not gonna charge the mother with nothing, even if it is kind of neglectful. I think it is 1,000% the mother, but she lost the baby. At this point, it's like it's too much on her already for her to go to prison and lose a baby. It's like, come on, man. It's like,
that's true.
Yeah, they gonna let it slide, whatever the neglect or the liability of her responsibility. But I'm gonna be real with you. I think she was responsible for that child's safety, and hopping in a fleeing car with a baby and showing them to the cops like this is gonna be your get out of jail free card is not it. Watchdogs, let me get your agent state.
68 New York.
Welcome up. Now, Watchdog, same question. Do you believe the mother should be held responsible for the unaliving of the baby 1-year-old Kohen, or should the officer be held responsible for taking this baby's life? Let me get your opinion.
Well, based on what I've heard so far, it would be the mother. No doubt about that. She's fleeing. Now, I'm not an officer, but I have friends that are officers. We have talked about this case. Mm-hmm. Would most officers react this way? No. Coming from officers, they think, there's different ways you could, use your car to slide them over, get in your cruiser and do what you got to do. This is pulling out your pew-pew is last resort. It's supposed to be. So that's why he got, he's on
administration leave.
He's got some issues.
I'm going to be real with you, right? In this type of case, it seemed like he gonna get thrown under the bus, man, because it's a baby involved. I ain't gonna hold you. He gonna get thrown under the bus. Well, he might do some time, and let's be real. I'm gonna be real with you. Know why? Because there has to be a sacrificial lamb in this situation, based on how minute the crime was. Diapers, unalive baby. Somebody got to take the fall. Walmart don't want to take the fall, or Target. They don't want to take the fall. The public needs somebody to take the fall for this. They definitely can't put it on the mother, even though I feel she's ultimately responsible for holding a baby on her lap while somebody's fleeing, right? But again, we know how sensitive the community is when it comes to children being unalived, because the baby was essentially innocent of all, wrongdoings in this incident. But the responsibility still bears on the person who pulled the pew-pew and the person who had the baby in direct line of fire. So I think he's like, if you hear officers talking about they would have did different, that's the first line of you out of here, brother. I ain't gonna hold you. That's the same thing that happened with the Sandra, what's her name? Sandra, I'm sorry, I don't want to mess her name up. R.I.P. to Sandra too. She allegedly threw the hot water on that officer, right? They released the body footage showing her pick it up, lunge it at him. He pew-pewed her. Again, anybody can say, hey, he didn't have the right to do that. But in any scenario, if you're throwing something at an officer, it's boiling hot water, they can pew-pew you. They can be bodily injury, right? So even though he may be in the right to make his own discretion, they're not going to give it to him if other officers is already calling it out. He's out of here.
It'll probably be up to a jury.
Yeah, and the jury's gonna go with the baby. Like anything that involves a baby, you're cooked. You're cooked. I'm sorry, brother. You're cooked. It's over. You might as well just take a plea, brother. If the baby involved, you're cooked off top. Let me get Catfish. Welcome there. What up, Catfish Cajun? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? I accidentally came up, man. I'm halfway asleep.
No worries, man. I'm happy to have you up, brother. You want me to drop you down?
Yeah, drop me down, man.
Okay, well, good to hear from me, bro. Always, man.
Well, here's the thing, okay? If he pew-pewed, why did he pew-pew? If you're trying to stop the car, okay, why are you pew-pewing the passenger as opposed to the driver? What's that about?
I don't know if he realized where he was firing at. Obviously, if there's a baby in the vehicle, right? And if you come up, hold on real fast, you guys. If you're coming up and your background is that loud, I'm gonna immediately drop you. So don't even bother to try to request up if you're in a noisy situation and your background sounds like that. Please don't disturb the conversation with your background. We don't want to hear your background. We want to hear your opinion. So if you have a noisy background and you're requesting up, just stay down until you get to a location where we can only hear your opinion. We're only looking to hear your opinion, not your background. And let me just introduce these other panel members. And I know you wanted to say something else, Watchdog. I'm going to let you respond as well. Diva, let me get your state, please.
I live in Maryland.
Welcome up, Diva. Good to have you on the panel.
Thank you.
Now, Diva, the question for you. Do you believe the mother bears responsibility for the 1-year-old's unaliving or the officer?
I have a multi-answer to that. The mother, I think, was an accessory to the crime.
Hold on. I just need a clear, because somebody has to take fault in this situation.
Right.
I'm not talking about hold on real quick. I'm not talking about the particular crime of the shoplifting. Again, that's a whole separate situation from the baby being unalive, even though they coexist in the same scenario. Who do you feel bears the responsibility of the young baby's life being taken, the mother or the officer?
The mother, but also the officer, reckless endangerment. But wait.
Okay,
also
the mother.
Also the officer for reckless endangerment. Like, depending, we don't know all the details right now. So,
no, we don't.
Depending
You're right.
on whether they tried to run him over, then that reminds me of the pew-pewing of the Minneapolis lady that tried to run the cops over, the ICE agents. So I think it's kind of a multifaceted, because even the fleeing after the crime, the mother would be an accessory to the crime, and she put her child in danger. And you don't bring your child to a crime spree. You just don't.
That part. Now, I'm gonna hold you right there. Let me get Morgan introduced. Morgan, let me get your am I pronouncing that right? Morgan?
Actually, Morgana Lee, but you can Morgan's fine.
Okay, Morgana Lee. I'm gonna just call you Morgan for short. Let me get your state, please.
I am in Arizona, and I'm from Louisiana. I just moved up here.
Welcome up. Welcome up. Good to have you on the panel. Question: do you feel the officer is responsible for the unaliving of the baby, or the mother bears the responsibility for this tragic loss? RIP to the young baby.
The mother.
The mother?
The
you
mother.
want to explain why
100%.
you believe the mother? Why do you believe the mother?
Well, because you took your child with you to commit a crime, then you fled from the police officers with your child on your lap. Had the child been in the car seat, in the back seat, he wouldn't have been pew-pewed. He was on his mom's lap in the front seat.
Right.
Everything that happened is a consequence of the mother's actions. So therefore, she is solely responsible for that child's unaliving.
Facts. Now, when this is a hard topic to kind of because it's a loss of such an innocent life, a 1-year-old child, right? And again, we're looking at it from the perspective of family members, even ourselves as being parents, right? So when we look at this innocent life that was taken, somebody has to bear responsibility for the passing of such a young soul. And when I look at this, I definitely 1,000% agree with you that the mother bears responsibility. But if we see this officer on footage showing that he could have avoided the vehicle, he wasn't in imminent danger, and he still popped off, he definitely needs to get up out of here too. I ain't gonna hold you.
If
He definitely needs to
was
do it.
not in imminent danger, I would agree that he at least needs to be fired and never be a police officer again. But I also have to be the devil's advocate here. When you have a vehicle coming at you, sometimes it's hard to make that decision. You know what I mean? As a
Right, but that's what I'm
split-second,
saying, Morgan.
high-stress
I'm
situation.
saying this. If that's true, if the vehicle's coming towards him, he has a right to use unaliving force at his discretion, because that could cause great bodily injury or unaliving. He has a family. He wants to get home. But my point was saying was this: if there is no way that he was going to get struck, or another fellow officer was going to get struck, and he still decided to discharge his firearm, he needs to go to prison. Period. Because again, the mother of the child is saying she actually showed the baby, which I think is foolish, to show your baby while you're trying to escape somewhere, like you're gonna get a get out of jail free card showing a baby. But she said she showed the baby purposely so they would not, pew pew in the car, and they still did. Help Cakes, welcome up. Let me get your age and state, please. If you're a woman, just your state.
57, New Jersey.
Welcome up, Help Cakes. Help Cake, same question, man. How you feel about this story? Who bears responsibility, the mother or the officer? Break it down for us.
Well, I don't know the whole background of the story. Obviously, I guess she was caught shoplifting, and then
hold on.
Then she tried to run from the cops.
Hold on. From what you heard, again, all the information isn't out right now, Help Cake. So this is a freshly new story. It's a freshly new incident that we're trying to get to the bottom of it and get the public's opinion. Now, based on what you've heard so far, right? Who do you feel bears responsibility for this young baby's life being taken? Like, is it the mom or the cop? Like, what side are you actually, definitively, saying, hey, if this person wouldn't have did this, the baby would still be here?
Well, she was driving at the cop. Is that correct?
Allegedly. Again, this is like, we don't know. Make sure your background is turned down too. It's kind of loud.
Yeah, allegedly. And I'm not sure if she was driving or if somebody else was
Her
driving.
friend was driving. Her friend was driving.
Yeah,
she was a passenger in the car. So allegedly, the officers are saying that they were driving towards them and trying to strike one of them. So then he decided to use his projectile and let off on the car. So who do you think bears the responsibility? What was that?
Cops were on foot.
Yeah, they were on feet. They were on foot at the time of trying to stop the vehicle.
Unfortunately, it's obviously very sad. But if I'm an ex-cop, if they were trying to run them down, they had a right to do whatever had to be done to stop them.
Damn, brother. So you're an ex-officer, right?
The mom took the kid to... Sorry, go ahead.
You being an ex-officer, right? There are other officers that are out here saying that he should not have fired inside the vehicle based on the child being present in the vehicle. Now, how do you feel about those officers? I know you guys got the code, the blue code, you know what I mean, which you guys stick by. But those officers, just like in the Sandry Massey case, right? They're saying that, once you hear voices of other fellow officers saying, hey, you did wrong, you might be behind those bars, brother. Am I right or wrong?
I don't know. I'm not getting enough information, to decide,
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I understand. Like, again, we have a few officers that rock with our panel. Officer Lou, he comes up here. My man Bob, he's an officer. So, we're frequent to officers coming on that are still active officers as well, giving their opinion. In this situation, we're hearing a lot of whispers that the officers that may be around this situation are trying to get away from this particular officer and what happened due to the nature of the 1-year-old losing his life after the firing of the weapon. Now, they're asking for release of the body cam footage. They're asking for surveillance around Walmart, and they haven't released that yet. Can you give us some insight, like how long that process would take before that becomes public?
Who knows? It all depends.
Something about releasing all this information real quick. I think it's wrong to release all the information and all the videos and stuff before the trial, because I think it makes it really hard to get a non-biased jury then if somebody has to go trial. I think evidence should not be shown until once the trial is over and done with, period.
Well, you know, freedom of information is one of those things that is a little touchy. For there can be transparency due to officers being peace officers and working for, you know, citizens. So that's why it's always regularly available for us to actually do a Freedom of Information Act, so we can get that and make our own conclusion. Now, I'm pretty sure that they don't want the jury to just see this. Like if it does go to a trial-based scenario, they don't want to be like, yo, did you see this? They normally ask questions like, did you know anything about this case before it happened? And they kind of screen them before they select them. Yeah. So I don't think they're still going to have to release it due to law. They're going to have to release it. I want to know what y'all think about this case. Do you guys believe the evidence should be released to the public? Let me know what y'all thoughts are. This is Jigga TV with Jigga News. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's jump right into this content right here, you guys.